Whoop.
Yay. Love technology. Love it, love it, love it. It's so beneficial, even when it's challenging. So hi, everybody. I know you guys know me. I'm Anna Sothen. You usually see my smiling face at the front of the studio when we are open. Unfortunately, we are not now, but we are looking forward to when we will finally be back and able to hug each other, because you guys know me. I love big, huge hugs. And so today I wanted to bring my good friend JoJo Bennington on with us in our group here, just to share some information. She and I have known each other for about 5 years. JoJo's a nutritional consultant and a whiz when it comes to living our healthiest lives. And so I just wanted to bring her on here and sort of share with you guys, because Juliana gave us permission to share a little bit about our business with everything that's going on. And I thought, how important would it be for us to share not what's going on, but how important it is to support our bodies nutritionally, not just now, but all the time, right? JoJo, you've been doing this for 13 years. I've been doing it for 5 years. And I can't imagine what life would be like if we hadn't been doing this for so many years. So if you wouldn't mind, share with my friends a little bit about yourself.
Well, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me on, Anna, to chat with everyone. It's weird to not see everyone, but they're out there. And so almost 15 years. So I'm born and raised in Las Vegas and still live here. And I have been working in nutrition for almost 15 years. It came from, traditional background. I was in Las Vegas, dealt blackjack for a while, opened some salons, had tanning salons and massage therapists and a little boutique and a smoothie bar. So I've always been somewhat entrepreneurial minded and just got a passion for nutrition and became certified and have been working with the amazing product that I was looking for 14 years. So, I used to teach people how to food prep and meal prep and weigh and do that whole thing where you're doing the little individual meals or you're teaching people how to read a label and shop, because, labels are really difficult, especially now, and they just keep getting more convoluted. But, I found that people would do that for maybe a month, maybe 2 months, and they would go, this is too hard and it takes too much work and it costs too much money. And so I need to find something simpler. And so I went out on a search really to find something simpler to fill that gap. And so luckily I came across the product that we're going to talk about today. And we have so many products in the line, right? But we're going to talk about one specific thing. So I know you wanted to talk protein because it's such an important conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned a little bit, and this is what I was finding with my clients as well, that it is tiresome. It is time consuming, not only going to the grocery store and getting all of the things that you need to prep, but meal prepping on weekends. I remember I used to spend probably a good 8 hours on Sunday between going to the grocery store and then prepping everything to make meals, to then put them into containers, to put them into the fridge, to then get tired of them by the end, like Thursday, Friday, didn't really want anything that I was doing anymore. So I've been there. I was in that position. And finding that even though I was doing all of the right things, right? Like all of the organic produce, we weren't eating out a lot. I don't do the soda. I don't do the sugar, the candies, the things of that nature, but I still was feeling like crap. And so share with us what makes these products that we're specifically talking about so different from doing that, right? Because we always talk about it, like that's eat whole foods, and we are whole foods eaters, right? Like we still eat, we love to eat.
Yeah. All the time.
All the time. But what makes this different? Why is this so beneficial to either in conjunction with what you're already doing, or in replacement of one or two meals?
Well, that's such a great question. And what we found is, if you look back, let's go back to like 1950s, and you come forward from there with the amount of pesticides and chemicals and herbicides and fungicides. Sorry about that. I thought I shut that off. That have been used on our soils and our lands. So we, once upon a time, our soils and our used to be very minerally rich because of this layer of microorganisms that lived in the dirt. the whole job of this microorganism was to break down the rocks into minerals, so small mineral pieces, where when you planted a plant in the soil, the plant would grow and absorb the minerals into the plant. We would eat the plant, and then the minerals would be in us. Well, we've killed off that entire layer of microorganisms. So that process doesn't really exist anymore, which is why you find the need for fortification everywhere. But right now, out of the 60 minerals that we need every single day, we get about 3 from our food supply. Might look like a really pretty tomato, but the nutrients and minerals that used to be there just aren't there anymore. And so for us to be able to eat the amount of that tomato, like, 25 tomatoes to get the nutrients we used to get, our stomachs just aren't big enough for that. Right. And so we have to find ways to get in good supplementation. So we do know that if you can make something bad, you can also make something good, right? So we have both sides of it. It's not just everything's going downhill.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's so true. And you remember, I think the correlation or the example that I was given when I was first started was spinach, right? Back in 1950, you could eat like a cup's worth of spinach and you would get a week's worth of iron. And then I can't remember when they did this study, but I think it was 53 cups of spinach, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, I love spinach. I can eat some spinach, but 53 cups is just a lot. Even when you cook it and it cooks down to 20 cups, it's still a lot of spinach. So if you think about that, the amount that you would have to eat, like JoJo said, your belly would have to be so big each meal. And we're not talking about throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. We're talking about each meal, you would have to eat 53 cups of spinach or 25 tomatoes or however many apples. So I think that's a good example of how we unfortunately can't get what we need from our food anymore, which is super sad. So tell us why this shake, because we are talking about shakes, just so that you guys know. In fact, I'll show you a little, here we go. So this one is the Pro. And then we also have one that is what I call the regular one. This is my favorite. 5 years in, chocolate. I'm a chocoholic and I drink 2 of these a day because they are absolutely amazing. So share with us what the benefit is of just taking one of these shakes a day.
Well, 252 nutrients in the shake.
That's a lot.
Amount of nutrients and a small amount of calories. So what we get used to is hearing calories, 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 and that's our fuel, which it is. But when they're nutrient robbed calories, or let's say, it's our normal high, the most sold meal in the country is like a sandwich, fries, and a soda. Mm-hmm. So think about the regular drive-through meal, right? Huge amount of calories, typically between 1,500 and 2,000 calories, with this much nutrition.
Yeah.
And then an hour and a half later, you're hungry because your body wasn't looking for the calories. Your body was looking for the nutrients.
Right.
So we do that the exact opposite way. So small amount of calories, enough for a meal, so 240 calories, and a huge amount of nutrients. So your body's not hungry an hour and a half later. Right. Like, 3.5, 4 hours later, maybe your body's like, okay, maybe we need something now. But your body's been fed through those nutrients all of that time. So the nutrients are important. Undenatured whey protein. Now we hear protein a lot, and there are different kinds of protein. We have vegan proteins that come from a plant base. This one we're talking about today is undenatured whey. So it comes from grass-fed animals that have been never treated with pesticides or chemicals. And the animals are not treated with antibiotics, and they eat the way they're supposed to eat, which is grass. That's what they're supposed to eat. Right. They're not supposed to eat corn, they're not supposed to eat soy, that's not what they're supposed to eat. So the cows are healthy, which is first, but undenatured whey protein is one of the highest alkalinity proteins that you can put into your body. So it keeps our body in a very homeostatic space. Most of the proteins that we eat will make us very acidic. And acidic, it doesn't even sound good, right? But acidic is where disease and cancers and reflux and weight gain and mental fog all live. Like all of that stuff lives in an acidic environment. We also know right now, which is an important conversation, a higher pH balance will help your body have a higher immunity. So be able to fight off disease as it tries to attack your little army. So it will also raise your glutathione. So glutathione is perfect for anti-aging. When we're young, glutathione, our bodies make it naturally. As we age, our bodies stop making that. And then our skin starts to get saggy, like our bones start to be affected. We see things that happen as we age. Glutathione is a huge piece of that because we stop producing it. Well, this actually helps us go back to a more natural state where it's being produced in our body. Zinc. So zinc production, huge important conversation right now to have more zinc in our body to be able to fight immunity. Digestive enzymes and probiotics. Huge. Gut health, right? We used to think that this ran everything. Now we know that our gut runs this, which runs everything. So gut health is so important to help us break down every single thing we eat to get our gut health in perfect balance, so we're not bloated, so we're able to eliminate normally every single day. And it tastes yummy. Can I say that?
Yes. Absolutely.
Totally yummy. So like this is my new favorite mix. Cake? So this is birthday cake. You know what I love about this? It's got the little sprinkles in it, but they make the sprinkles out of beet and kales and spinach. So you go, ooh, that's gross, but they actually taste really yummy, and the kids go crazy over this. So yeah, and I guess I'm just a big kid because I really love it.
My daughter tried those. I
mix it with my chocolate mint. Have you tried that?
I haven't.
It with the chocolate mint. Ooh, this is my favorite mix. It sounds really weird.
It does. I'm going to have to admit that. It's not a combination I would do, but I'm going to have to try that. I'll let them know what it tastes like.
And what I love about it too is that I can make pancakes out of it.
My favorite.
I can make oatmeal and put it in my oatmeal. I can make a smoothie bowl. So I make it really thick and put some fruit and nuts in there, and I get a smoothie bowl. So it's not just here, oh, I got to drink a shake every day. But it's actually, it's very versatile, which I love about it. I make cookies. I mean, oh my gosh, tons of recipes. So I could share them.
We've made donuts before. We've made muffins. My favorite is to make pancakes. I don't know if you guys seen it, but if you go and look on my Facebook page, probably once or twice a month, there's a picture of me making pancakes and usually eating it like right before I can't, it doesn't even get cold enough for me to eat it. And usually I burn my tongue because they're so darn good. Right. And I love the versatility of it. No, you don't have to drink. And my husband makes fun of me. He was like, oh, you just like to drink your meals. I don't. I love how these meals make me feel, but if I'm not feeling the whole sitting here and drinking it, which is, by the way, super simple, super easy and convenient, right? 30 seconds, you have a complete meal. And this is the only thing you have to clean. Well, that and the little blender thing, the blender blade. But other than that, you don't have a dish or a sink full of dishes afterwards, right? From making, whether you're putting something on the stove and then making something, putting it into a plate and fork and all that kind of stuff. So I love that. I love the simplicity of it and the versatility of it. So share with us a little bit. You talked about a balanced meal, right? And our bodies being alkaline and acidic. And what are some of the things that we do commonplace today that cause our bodies to be acidic?
Stress.
Nobody's stressed right now. Nobody has that, right?
Nobody's stressed right now. Smoking, drinking, bad food, flaming hot Cheetos. Sorry, Cheetos, you are not a good environment for our body. In Doritos, there's like 42 different chemicals just to make the little cheese fuzz on our Doritos. It's like really gross, right? So we do lots of things to keep our body in an acidic state, and things that we don't even realize, like cheese makes us acidic. I know, I'm sorry.
I love cheese.
Soda, coffee, which I'll tell you, I love my coffee because it's very pH balanced coffee, so it doesn't throw your body into an acid reflux overload, right? So many different things. Did you know RO water can also throw your body into an acidic state? So tons of things. If you Google acid alkaline chart, you'll see how many things. And not that we just want to eat all alkaline either, because we don't want to go over the top in alkalinity, because that can also make us very sick. But to be at a balanced state is where we want to be.
And that word is called homeostasis, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's about 7 to 7.25 on the pH chart. So you can get those little strips, like the little, when you spit on them and they turn a color, and you can see where your body's at. So it's a good simple little test to do.
Awesome. And I'll share a little bit.
What you were saying about the mixing with water. So here's a huge piece of this, especially right now, is people are going to the store and they're buying boxes of mac and cheese and things. They're like buying all these things that don't break down. I went into the store a few weeks ago and there was nothing on the shelf, but the entire produce section was completely full. Everything was there. I was like, what are people doing? Like, oh my gosh. But I'm thinking that they're going, okay, I need to put stuff in my house that isn't going to spoil, which is such a key thing here, because like I can put that shake in my pantry. Each one of those canisters gives me 14 meals. I mix it with water. It's not going bad like the produce, and it's giving me more nutrients than the produce.
Yeah.
So when I say to somebody, hey, I can get you 4 of these, that's 56 meals for $168. Like you go, wait, what, 56 meals? You cannot go to the grocery store and buy it for that. So not only are we getting the nutrients, it's simple, it's safety sealed, delivered directly to your door. And I'm just asking the question right now, what do you have as a secondary resource for your food?
Right.
Because you need one. Yeah. And look, they get dropped on your doorstep. Right now I'm cleaning everything that comes into the door that somebody touches.
I put it in a decontamination corner in my closet or in my garage. Let it sit for a while.
Like bleach spray out there, right? It's so bad. But I can put those in my pantry. So we got multiple sets of shake, so I can, just in case we can't get to the store. Right. What if we completely went on lockdown? Like I'm looking at New Zealand, they can't even leave their house. And so what if we went to that point? Would you have a secondary resource for your food? And so that makes me happy that we do. And at like $2.90 a meal, seriously, you cannot beat that.
Right.
And yummy.
That's less than I think, and I haven't been to McDonald's in forever, but I think that's less than a McDonald's Happy Meal. Yeah, so the value of what you're getting in that one shake is absolutely phenomenal. And I think that's a huge point, JoJo, that to drive home is that you're right. Like it's getting to the point where like Virginia right now, we're in a shelter in place until June 10th, and you can't go out unless it's necessary. I mean, Adam had to print out a sheet of paper that said, if I'm in my car, it's because I'm an essential worker. And I told him, I said, well, I can't carry that around. I'm not an essential worker, right? I work from home. And he's like, yeah, but if you're going to the grocery store, then you can have this. But I mean, to think about it, we've walked into the grocery stores, and I don't know what it's like for you in Vegas there, but for us here, like you're right, shelves and shelves. I mean, there is no pasta to be found anywhere. Like the cereal aisle is completely gone. Like I was just going down and just boggled by the amount of shelves that are, and then let's not even talk about the toilet paper aisle, but right, all of these aisles are completely empty. So what happens if everything shuts down and they can't get more bread in, they can't get more cereal in, they can't get more pasta in, like all of these things. And you're right, you go to the produce section and it's stocked full. And I understand, right? Because I remember, 5 years ago, I would go out and I would buy all the organic produce, and I would get the spinach and the celery and the carrots and the this and the that, and then I put it in my refrigerator, and then I'd forgot that I had that thing of celery. And then I'd go and I'd find it again after I'd bought one already again. And then I'd find it and realize that I wasted money because I'm wasting produce. I'm not eating it, fast enough or remembering that I have it. And I love that this can sit on my shelf and it's safe. It's sealed. And I want to talk about that because I think that's super important. A lot of companies will compromise quality for the almighty bottom dollar, right? Or the American dollar, whatever you want to, whatever the saying is. I've lived through with Isogenics. I've only been with Isogenics for 5 years. I've lived through 2 experiences where we didn't have the resources, right? When I say resources, the raw materials coming in order for us to make our products that were up to our standards. And they said, no, thank you. And so they limited the amount of dairy-free shakes that were coming out. Mm-hmm. And then the other item was our isogenesis, which is our telomere support. If we can get to that, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But talk about that. That was huge to me. Like they shut down the dairy-free for, what was it, like 3 or 4 months? Mm-hmm. It was quite, and people were angry, because they were like, oh my God, I want it. But they turned away 30 truckloads of raw materials 30 truckloads of raw materials.
And
Like
I
that
asked them
blew, that blew my mind.
Well, I asked them, where did those 30 truckloads go to? Do they take them to the dump and throw them away? And they said, no, they take them back to the company and resell them to someone else. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. But it was a huge reason why, when I did my research originally on this company and the product, that I said yes, was the way that they test. So they said, we have a no compromise policy. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, what does that mean, right? Everybody says that.
Everybody says that, right?
But looking into that, what that meant is that they DNA fingerprint every ingredient that comes in through the back door. So they bring it in and they match it to an original pure strain. They test it for toxicity and impurities and mercury and lead and cadmium and hexane and all this crazy stuff that they use in production in our food. But not only that, but environmental toxicity. They look at all of those things because, wheat strain now and a wheat strain in 1950 don't look like the same animal under a microscope because they've been hybrid and GMO affected. And so we DNA fingerprint every single thing. That was really important to me. They test for efficacy and purity while they're processing, and then again when they're done. That was a big factor for me. And so in watching them for 14 years, I've seen multiple times where something happened with what they brought in and they chose not to use it. Like, would we know? We wouldn't know. We wouldn't know if it was, not as nutrient full. We wouldn't know. But they choose to stand behind their word of no compromise. And I've watched them do it over and over and over, that they will give up money to give us a pure product, which is important to me.
Yeah.
And always knowing that they're giving us the best thing. And I love now too that they're going so more eco-friendly. Our canisters, more canisters and more canisters are not only being made from recycled material, but are fully recyclable. And they have a goal to be, is it by 2023? Like, and that's a huge amount of packaging and products.
Yeah, it was either 2023 or 2025.
Shipping, like, there's no more shrink wrap on anything that we ship. There's no more, like, they cut out like 70% of the shipping package. Like when they ship big pallets of stuff, it's at like 70% of the packaging. So I'm looking that they're doing things environmentally for the world, which is also extremely important to me.
Yeah. And I think that's important because that was one of the things that when I first started looking at this is I couldn't bring anything into my home where, I mean, I can do research and I have done research, but I don't want to sit here and research absolutely every single thing under the sun because that's exhausting, right? And then it makes you, and then it puts you on the other side of it where you're then like fearful of eating or drinking or touching anything because you have no idea. You've learned so many times of like, them putting soy into things that why would you have soy in, whatever product, or putting yellow dye into pickles? Why do you need yellow dye in pickles? Like it does, like the amount of things that are allowed in our foods that shouldn't be in our foods is astronomical. And so you get to where this fear base and then you don't want to do anything. And so I trust them. And that was a huge thing. Because at the time, when I first started, Jack was only a year. And I didn't want, a year old, kids are curious. Hey, I want to drink mommy's shake. Hey, I want to drink your cleanse for life. I want to drink this. I want to drink that. Like I couldn't bring anything into my house that after he drank it, I had to be calling poison control because, that goes with our toothpaste. Like if you swallow too much toothpaste, you have poison control. He drank peroxide one time unknowingly, but like those things that's worrisome for a parent. And so knowing that I brought something into my home that was super safe for my 1-year-old, like my 1-year-old could drink the shake.
How about Flintstone's vitamins? They have a safety cap on them, right? Yeah. Why do they have a safety cap on them? It should be safe enough inside that bottle that there's not anything in there that they could overdose on from nutrients and vitamins. And so, it's a problem.
It is a problem. So speaking of safety caps, right? So this is our telomere support. We shared a little bit about that earlier. We won't get much into that, but JoJo's talking about that, right? This is the seal on it. Because
you could take the whole bottle essentially, and maybe it might upset your stomach because you took the whole thing, but it's not going to make you sick. It's not going to poison you. Right. So yeah, it's important for sure, especially when you have little ones running around. But think about right now too. With the kids are at home, You want them to have something nutritious. You don't want them living on mac and cheese the whole time we're on this little crazy lockdown. And so to be able to give them something, it's also safe for the children. They love it. Very rarely do we come across a child that goes, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Plus, you let them make their own smoothie bowl. You make it a little fun, and they're getting something good. And make their pancakes out of it. They have no idea.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. I love that. So if you guys haven't, and I apologize, I was looking down to see if I can get any of the comments here on Facebook. I haven't gotten proficient at that part, like the whole Zoom and then looking at the Facebook differently. But if you guys have any questions, you can always drop them back below here, and JoJo and I can answer them for sure. But we wanted to thank you for just taking the time to just sit and listen and be open, just be open to the information that we're sharing. I feel like we're ambassadors of a gift, right? Like we've been given this gift, and it's our responsibility to the world to go and share that with a gift. Your responsibility is to be open and to listen to it. And if it's something that you're interested in, great. If it's not, then great, that's fine. No worries. If we can help you in any other way, let us know that as well. So I want to thank you, JoJo, for taking the time out of your day to chat with us. It's always wonderful to see you. And I hope you guys have an amazing afternoon. Do not forget that at 5 p.m. Eastern time, we're all on the East Coast. I usually say that because when I talk to JoJo, she's 3 hours behind and we have to do this whole math thing. But we're having a virtual happy hour tonight at 5 o'clock. So come join us. We'd love to see your faces. So, we can't, what somebody say, we're social distancing, but we're not disconnecting. Yes. Thank you. So join me back here at 5 o'clock so that we can have a chat and we can talk about how things are going in your world. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thanks, JoJo.
Thank you. Bye.